quick before the video starts, we've got some updates. Yeah, hi, editing's on here. So, basically everything covered in this part of the video was already covered in a different video that I made about rule changes, so, yeah, that happened. Oh, also, guess what? You remember the mobile game rule that I made? Yeah, that rule. That's been proven to be a very weird and convoluted rule because of how many mobile game ports of games there are. Like, why is Bendy and the Ink Machine on the freaking App Store, dude? So, yeah, that rule's gonna be based on my own opinions, basically. Sorry. Now, anyway, I should keep playing the video. You should really watch it. It's really fun. Anyway, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you feel like it. And now, with all of that out of the way, on to the video. Alright, spin the wheel. What are we playing first? What are we playing first?
It's Pikachu!
Alright, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I will gladly take that. I will take that. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Honestly, I expected worse for the first game. The requirements for beating this game are simple. Collect all 8 gym badges, beat the Elite Four, and become the champion. Sorry in advance if the first day of footage is messed up. I used an old capture card and had to do so much finagling with it to get it to work. My Pokemon journey officially started on May 5th, 2026. I originally planned to play only with the Pokeball Plus controller, but, well, it kind of died at some point, so I just used my Joy-Cons from then on because I was too lazy to charge it. The game starts up, and... I keep forgetting that he's right there. He's... Oh... Hello, buddy! Oh, you wanna kill me, don't you? Oh, you're so cute. I can't. I love him so much. Yeah, that happened. Look, Pikachu is way too adorable, alright? Also, side note, if you hear not really my voice in any of the recordings, I just really like the concept of voice acting, and I wanted to have some fun with my own voice for all of this, so just keep that in mind. And here is the one problem for every single gender non-specific person. Okay, so, given my identity as not cis, I've come up with the perfect solution. For the majority of the Pokemon games, at least, for the game first released, for example, Pikachu and then Eevee, Diamond and then Pearl, X and then Y, I will be choosing the male character. For the second game, the female character if applicable. Problem solved! What was his name now? Okay. Buddy? How on earth do you forget your own son's name? It took me so long to come up with my rival's name. Also, this is not Oak's kid. I was an idiot. No, because this is a guy. I can't do that. That would be mean. Let me explain that one real quick. I had thought of naming my rival Cisnari after my cousin, but she's not a guy, and I didn't want to be mean, so instead... Larry. Hopefully this will make sense later. Depends on how those future Backlog games go. Anyway, I have chosen my gender, named myself and my rival, and now I'm ready to head off on my Pokemon journey after interacting with literally anything in the room. Cool. Larry, in his usual leisurely fashion, runs up to my room and tells me about how we're gonna get our first Pokemon today.
I already knew that, Larry. Shut up!
I said goodbye to my mother. Off you go to Professor Oak's lab. Larry asked the professor to give the two of you Pokemon of your own, didn't he? Mother, why do you have an accent now? Who's completely fine letting her 10-year-old go off into the world of Pokemon where I can die to a literal rat. How fun. I, of course, get distracted instantly and interact with anything and anyone, including Professor Oak's lab. Professor Oak himself is notably absent from said lab. Nobody seems to know where he went. So I, being the smartest of 10-year-olds, go straight up to where the tall grass is to find him myself, and He's being attacked by Pidgey. Oh, nope, he's fine. He's not like one of the other professors we'll meet in the other games. Anyway, now that I found the professor, we can go back to Larry, and holy mother of coelacanths, what's that? It's Pikachu.
It's Pikachu!
Well, with that, we caught the Pikachu through motion controls, which will definitely not backfire on me later, and now we can finally... Of course the Pikachu runs away. Inside of the Pokeball. Of course. So now we go back to the lab with the professor this time, and we grab our Pikachu, who proceeds to ignore its Pokeball to earn head pats. I can't blame him. Head pats are great. Now we can go. Right? Nope, we're now free labor for Professor Oak to fill out the Pokedex. Wonderful! Also, side note, for nature guesses, if there are any, Pikachu has the hasty nature. Speedy rat. After leaving the lab, our mother...
Oh, how cute. This is the one you got from the professor. What, you caught it yourself? That's amazing. What should I call your new friend? Pikachu? Well, it's a lovely Pokemon. My, how energetic. I suppose that means you two will be setting off on an adventure today, right? Safe travels, dear. You and Pikachu will be good to each other.
Mom, what is your accent? Gives us the map, and now we can leave. Yes, we can now leave on our Pokemon journey. Finally! I get onto the first route and immediately catch the first Pokemon I see, an Oddish and a Pidgey, before finally making it to Viridian City. I took a break from my Pokemon journey to wait for my new capture card, which actually works with my definitely Windows PC, thankfully, which means I didn't continue until May 8th, 2026. Which, unfortunately, the first half has messed up commentary because I messed up my audio tracks in OBS. I fixed it before the day ended, but I'm still disappointed in myself. I could have used so much of that, potentially. After wandering around everywhere due to not knowing where I was supposed to go and inadvertently finding the way to the literal Pokemon League, and catching a Nidoran male, Nidoran female, and Rattata in the process, I finally figured out I was supposed to get the professor's package from the Pokemart, so I grabbed that and brought it back to him. At this rate, I'm more errand boy than Pokemon trainer. Back at the lab, I give the professor his package, Larry and I both get some raspberries to help with catching Pokemon, and Larry challenges me to our first ever Pokemon battle.
Wait up! Come on, Zandalur. You do know you can do more with Pokemon than just catch them, right? If you're a trainer, then you can have Pokemon battles with other trainers too. Show you exactly what I mean. It's battle time.
At which we beat his Eevee to a pulp and return victorious. Upon leaving the lab to get back to Viridian City, Larry's sister gives us our first set of clothes, the sportswear set. Obviously, I put this onto Pikachu right away. After giving my Pikachu a ton of love, because we unlocked that as well. Oh, who's a good boy? You're a good boy. And now we're at Viridian Forest, because whoever runs the Viridian City gym is absent for some reason. Maybe he went to, grab the milk or something. Who knows? While here, I caught a Weedle, a Metapod, a Caterpie, a Kakuna, and a Butterfree before realizing my audio mistakes and promptly fixing that. Heck, I'm just gonna... There we go, we missed absolutely nothing. After that, I caught a Bulbasaur, and after failing to find any kind of shiny whatsoever, I mean, I wasn't even trying any methods to hunt one beyond running around like a maniac, so me not finding one isn't all that surprising, I finally called it quits and moved on to Pewter City.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Hey, nice! I was hoping we'd run into each other. I'm tired, dude. I just want you... You know there's a Pokemon gym up this way, right, Zandalur? You can battle against the gym leader there, and he's seriously strong. If you want to get stronger, you've definitely got to try taking him on. Jeez, Pikachu, you're ready for a good battle. You're ready for a good battle too, eh? Who would it be? Alright, then you're making me want to cheer you guys on too, so take these. I got potions from Larry. I don't understand half of what you're saying. I bought some for you for the prize money. I've been hunting up the battles. Beat the gym leaders out of the You really try yourself as a true trainer. Give me your best. Yep, totally understood all that. Larry's accent is still, in fact, all over the place, as usual. Think he's Scottish or Irish right now? Obviously, with no regard for what level my Pokemon are at, I go straight for the Pewter City Gym. This is a running theme throughout the whole game. Luckily for me, my Pokemon, my Pikachu, really, were at a good enough level to defeat Brock and earn the Boulder Badge. I literally just killed Brock's rocks with my electric speed demon rat. Great. Once I leave the gym, I meet Professor Oak's actual biological relative named Blue.
Hey, you there, newbie! Don't tell me you gotta be Zandalur, right? How did you know that? 'Cause you look just like my Gramps said. Oh wait, Larry's not. Okay, Larry's our neighbor. Okay, this is Blue. I'm Blue. I heard from my Gramps that 2 new kids set out from Pallet Town to become trainers, just like I did once. So I came to check you out. I was thinking you might want some advice on how to beat the gym from an expert trainer like me, but looks like I showed up too late, huh? Seems you're not too shabby yourself, so I guess you've earned a reward, newbie. Got 5 Great Balls. Those will be even better for catching Pokemon than playing old Pokeballs. And hey, that thing you got there, that's a Pokedex, right? So Gramps finally went and made one. But if you exist and you went out on your... You had a Pokedex. He used to make me just scribble on a map with a pencil about where I've encountered a Pokemon. You'd better do a good job helping him out. He may be Professor Oak to you, and sure, he's an old coot, but he's still my Gramps. Smell you later, newbie. Pompous jerkwad.
He gave me my first Great Balls of the journey, and apparently on his first journey, he didn't even have a Pokedex? That's just sad, dude. Anyway, we leave Pewter City and catch a Sandshrew, a Spearow, and a Mankey, and then enter Mount Moon, which definitely doesn't have a suspicious-looking Meowth outside of it. What on earth are you talking about? You can't see anything. While here, I caught a Zubat and had my first encounter with Team Rocket in the form of Jessie and James.
Looks like there's nothing here, then let's just search farther in. You were eavesdropping on us just now, weren't you? Meowth, you were supposed to be keeping watch. Meow.
And Meowth, of course.
We know there are rare fossils buried around here somewhere. If you've got any, you better hand them over to us, twerp. That's right, if anyone's going to profit off those rare fossils, it's going to be us. Meow.
No fighting, thankfully. They just brushed me off. After that, I caught a Geodude, a Clefairy, and a Paris while fighting a few Team Rocket grunts along the way. I also met this weird guy who was trying to protect 2 fossils he found, so he just fought me for no reason. I didn't even threaten to take them, but obviously I won, and he let me take one of the fossils for free. I took the Helix fossil, and off I went on my merry way to the next— Oh, come on, not you 2 again! I beat them up with the power of Pikachu and Oddish, and finally we can move on to the second gym. On the way there, I caught a Psyduck, which, nice. And finally, we're in Cerulean City. And yet again, I run straight into the gym with no plan. Pikachu was able to get rid of Missy's Psyduck easily, but her Starmie ended up knocking out my Pikachu before he could knock it out. If I were doing a Nuzlocke, my Pikachu would have died here. Oddish picked up on the slack, and we were easily able to finish off the Starmie from there. Cascade Badge, let's go! Now, off we go to Nugget Bridge, where we can... Oh
wait, this is a Team Rocket bridge. Yeah! Oh, Zandalur, you're not gonna believe this! Come on!
No, Larry's terrified of something and decided to just battle me, I guess? Okay. Anyway, beat him up. Turns out there's a talking Pokemon or something. Gotta check that out. I mean, come on, it might be a Pokemon movie reference. With that out of the way, I fought through the 5 trainers on the bridge, who apparently wanted me to join Team Rocket, and despite me saying yes multiple times, they said I was too young or something, and moved on to the next route. Made it to Bill's house, and much to Larry's credit, there was, in fact, a talking Pokemon there. Unfortunately for me, it was just a Nidorino. Sad. He entrusted us with pressing a button on his computer, bad idea to give a random 10-year-old kid that kind of trust when it comes to your well-being, and voila, he's normal again. He gave me tickets to the SSN though, so nice. Definitely taking Larry with me for that one. Before I could even think about going there though, turns out someone broke into a house or something, so I had to go fix that first. It was just Team Rocket again, like, come on. Finally, I met up with Larry again outside the tunnel to Vermilion City. We had a suspiciously timed fade to black conversation.
Oh, hey, Zandalur. Seems like we can't pass through the gate there. Why? But the underground path should take us to Vermilion City. It's a bit dark and spooky, though.
Huh? Hold still for my sec, Zandalur. Are you about to kiss me, dude? Where he supposedly found a revive in my hair, and off we went to Vermilion to get onto the SS Sand. Oh, Nidoran male finally evolved into Nidorino. Nice. May 9th, 2026. Continuing my first Pokemon journey of this challenge. Made it to Vermilion and met up with the sailor outside the boat, who gave me a sailor outfit set for being the 100th guest on the boat. Oh well, Pikachu and I now look amazing. Plus, no way am I denying free clothes. Like, come on. Larry was already on the boat, somehow. And Blue's here too. Nice. Blue, being the pompous jerk that he is, was invited to the party himself and just decided to leave. Right before that, he told us to stay away from Team Rocket because they're dangerous, but we're fine. I mean, they're the ones running into me all the time. It's not my fault. Anyway, I just looked around the boat a lot, fought some guys, and continued on my way. Finally found the captain's deck too, but I had to fight Larry first for some reason. I don't know anymore. Anyway, made it to the captain, a very seasick captain, kind of ironic. And he taught my Pikachu how to chop things, because Pikachu wanted to learn, and I'm not going to stop that little speed demon rat. I got off the boat, and technically speaking, I was almost kidnapped by a boat. Right when I left the boat left. I could have been taken. And nobody would have cared, because I'm 10. There was this girl named Mina on the dock too, who I think is from Alola or something, but I just ignored her pretty much and kept going because me finding fairy types at my current state? No thank you. Well, now that we know how to chop down trees and summon the Lorax, I can finally beat the next why did I go up? Where am I going? Excuse me, pardon! Oh, back when I was smart and actually thought about leveling up my Pokemon to be useful. Right. I put a Geodude in my party and, yeah. Looking back at the footage, I'm not happy with myself later. Officer Jenny with the Squirtle was in freaking Vermilion City, not the other spot. Oh, Pidgey evolved into Pidgeotto. Nice. Anyway, blah, 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 more crap happened. Oh, would you look at that? I'm at the gym now. After some very simple puzzle physics of interact with anything and everything in the room to find the solution, I unlocked the way to Lieutenant Surge and started the fight. What level was I during all of this? Ah, right! My highest was level 20 with Pikachu. This is fine. Everything is perfectly fine. Yet again, very glad I didn't make this a Nuzlocke. And Pikachu died to his Magnemite, and everyone else is level 18 to 19 with Geodude at level 11! Excellent! Nidorino got sent out next, so hopefully he'll be able to be up the... Nope, he was used as Death Fodder to revive Pikachu. But hey, Nidorino beat up the Magnemite, so I've got that going for me. Nidorino got paralyzed by his Raichu, but she managed to get a poison off on it, so win-win... So Nidorina's dead? Send out the Pikachu. At this point, I remember that stalling with potions exists, and obviously I did that, which thankfully worked in my favor, and his Raichu finally fainted after one last double kick. Finally, the Thunder Badge! 3 badges down, 5 more to go. Now that I've learned my lesson about making sure I'm not under-leveled, surely the next parts of the game will go much more smoothly. Surely. I leave the gym and cut down the bush again. How on earth did that thing grow back so fast? And Missy's waiting for me outside. She heals up my Pokemon, she is a literal lifesaver, and she brings me straight to Diglett Cave. Went through Diglett Cave and came out the other end just to meet some random dude who taught my Pikachu Flash, basically. Leaving the rando's house, Larry's waiting outside to take me straight to where Rock Tunnel will be. After some walking, this random showman in a Pokemon Center taught my Pikachu Zippy Zap, which from now on will be affectionately called Zeep Zoop, which stays there for the rest of the game. I mean, seriously, who wouldn't want to keep a move that's guaranteed to go first and always crit? Okay, where even am I? Apparently that was in Cerulean. Okay, now I go to Rock Tunnel. Surely. Next time maybe I should write this stuff down while I play. While heading to Rock Tunnel, I run into some Team Rocket grunts. That's fine. It's only one. I can beat up one grunt. That's fine. Okay, there is no way I can fight four of them. Someone help! Forgus? Hold it. Hold it. Ooh. Getting up on a child, I absolutely can't forgive that. So, this woman shows up and takes on 3 of them by herself and leaves the last one up to me. Luckily, the Raticate and my Pikachu are at the same level, so there's no real issue at all in killing it. The woman managed to beat them all up, thankfully, so hold on, you're part of the Elite Four? Well, thanks, miss. Please don't kill me later. Anyway, I kept going towards Rock Tunnel because, man, this story takes longer than I remember. Maybe I just got worse at playing or something. I make it to Rock Tunnel, wander around there, blah, 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 and now I'm out. Finally. I'm at Lavender Town now. I walk into town to instantly see a Cubone run into the tower with Larry close behind. How fun. And of course, once I follow him, his first thought isn't, oh, probably shouldn't fight in the place where dead Pokemon are. His first thought is, hey, let's battle! Anyway, beat him to a pulp, obviously. We both went further up to follow the Cubone and found ghosts, I guess. Larry ran away like a coward, and honestly, I followed him. I knew I couldn't do anything at the current rate. I started heading west to figure out where I was meant to go and encountered Jesse and James again. How fun. Didn't have to fight them this time, so I'll take that as a win. More wandering later, and would you look at that, Celadon City and new moves for my Pikachu to learn. I taught my Pikachu Floaty Fall in place of Quick Attack, and obviously first instinct is to go straight for the new gym. Without checking my levels. Or the gym's levels. At all. And that's not the worst part. I managed to dodge every single trainer when I went in, so it was just instant gym leader. So, started that fight. Let's see. My Pikachu, who is almost always at the highest level compared to everyone else, is level 26. And Erica's first Pokemon is a level 33 Tangela. So, yeah, restarted my game real quick after finding that out. And into the gambling center we go! Aww, I can't gamble. Dang it. Have to battle some random grunt in front of a poster to get the Silph Scope and help Cubone or whatever. Blah. I just wanted to gamble. I booped the poster, summoned the giant hole in the wall that nobody even notices after it shows up, and walk on through to the Team Rocket hideout. While I'm here, I got cool Team Rocket clothes, which, contrary to my prior belief, do absolutely nothing in terms of preventing Pokemon battles while I'm here. Dang it. Went through that whole mess of walk pads and all of that crap. Anyway, time skip venting time. One of the Team Rocket grunts I fought threw the key up onto the walls, so I had to have Pikachu go and grab it, which he did an amazing job at it. I love him so much. You're such a good boy. Very easy, all things considered. Grabbed the key, and off I went to go fight Jesse and James to make it to their boss. I beat them up, met this guy named Archer, beat him up, and was finally able to face off against Giovanni. So apparently I lost against Giovanni the first go-around, so I went and beat up Erica instead and got my 4th gym badge. This was over 6 hours into this game. I was getting very tired of it at this point. It didn't stay that way, otherwise there wouldn't be this video of it, but yeah. Attempt 2 at beating up Giovanni, and I won! Got the Silph Scope, brought the Cubone back with me, and headed right back to the Pokemon Tower. Larry was outside of there again, talking to some girl, saying that Team Rocket took Marowak's skulls to just sell them, which is that's just rude. And after convincing a very scared Larry to come with me, we went up the tower to head to the top to find Mr. Fuji. I think that's why we're here, I don't remember. I'm just scrolling through the footage at this point. We found more of the weird-looking ghosts, and once I used the Silph Scope, turns out they're all just Pokemon. Larry is now much less scared. Also caught a Ghastly, Haunter, and Cubone while I was there. I'm really bad at saying which Pokemon I did and didn't catch, aren't I? It's not like they matter that much when most of them aren't even used. Anyway, made it to the top, and the very cute and sad cutscene of Cubone seeing his dead mom before she moves on to the afterlife plays. I don't want to linger on the sad. Keep going! So turns out more Jesse and James at the top of Pokemon Tower harassing Mr. Fuji, so I beat them up. I talked to Mr. Fuji and he just gave me the Poke Flute for free, so now I can finally move on. Right? Why am I in Saffron now? So apparently Silphco got taken over by Team Rocket, and the only reason we could even go in was because Jesse and James knocked the living daylights out of whoever was guarding the entrance. Went in there, and Larry and Blue meet me there as well. We all discuss our plans, and the plan is basically Blue fighting both of us to figure out if we're strong enough to handle ourselves. Started the fight with Blue, and holy crap, his Executor's level 38 and Pikachu's only 31! Anyway, I leave Silphco for now to trade up. Or something. I found a Snorlax to the west of Celadon and used the Poke Flute to wake it up. Mr. Fuji neglected to tell me that Snorlax, whatever. When they wake up, they think the first thing they see is food. I am not food. I beat up the Snorlax and caught it, because apparently that's just what you have to do, and moved on with my life. Also, if you see 2 Pokemon on my team fighting only 1 Pokemon on the opposing team, nobody ever said I wasn't allowed to bring in a support trainer. May 10th, 2026, I continued the journey. 2 more days. Most of it was just spent running around to level up my Pokemon, but eventually I went back to Silphco and fought Blue. This time Pikachu's level 34, which is better. Finally beat him up, and Larry now has to fight Blue while I go start to storm the building to fight off all the grunts. This took ages. I despise the teleportation pads with a burning passion. Turns out, I got so bored of that I decided to instead go all the way to Cinnabar Island and into the Pokemon Mansion rather than progress through the story. Kinda did it while I was there though. Also found my way to the Seafoam Islands, which I had no idea what to do with, so I just left after catching some new mons. May 12th, 2026. The longest recording of them all at approximately 5 hours and 42 minutes, and after a day's worth of a break from the game. I started the recording with 4 of the 8 gym badges, but I was ready. I stormed back into the Silphco building and finally brute forced my way through it until I found Archer. At that point, Larry had finally beaten up Blue, so I wasn't alone this time. They ran away after we beat them up, and they dropped their card key, so obviously we took that. I made it very close to where Giovanni would be when Archer showed up again, but luckily Larry showed up as well and told me to go on ahead. He'd hold him off. I went off on my own towards Giovanni, fighting against Jesse and James again while doing so. Side note, Pikachu learned Splishy Splash at some point. It's affectionately called Splish Sploosh from now on, though. Finally made it to Giovanni, again, after way too long, and holy crap, I'm not under-leveled this time! Pikachu and Persian were both at level 39. For once, we were on an even playing field! If it weren't for the fact I forgot to heal. But luckily, through the power of shaky summoning, I summoned a friend and made them heal me. Giovanni went down easily after that, and Silphco was no longer in danger. Yay! Why do they trust 10-year-olds with stuff like this? Larry was outside waiting for me and told me that Archer just made a run for it with all the other Team Rocket grunts, so that's cool, I guess. I wandered around some more and found Officer Jenny, who gave me a really cool police officer outfit set, which I immediately put on. I looked snazzy. Went back over to Fuchsia City. Oh yeah, I went there before. And was ready to take on the next gym. Poison types. Oh boy. Through the magic distraction of, ooh, cool thing, I found the Pokemon lab instead and got myself an Aerodactyl and an Ammonite from the fossils I got. I got the old Amber from the museum in Pewter City. I did a lot of backtracking to try to level my Mons up by finding trainers, and Ammonite evolved into Amistar in the process, which was very nice. Also found some Moonstones and evolved Nidorino and Nidorina into Nidoking and Nidoqueen. I wanted to have some strong Pokemon for later, given my lack of being able to do squat with grinding. Oh, and we're back in the gym, and we're back out. Found a guide online somewhere to try to help with the gym, which inadvertently led me to get strength and go through the Seafoam Islands, so that's cool, I guess. Went back to the Fuchsia City gym and finally got my 5th gym badge. Moving on from there, I went straight to the Saffron City gym to beat up Sabrina. Through the magic of Shaky Shaky Joy-Con, I beat her up and earned my 6th gym badge. Then, according to the guide, I was supposed to go to the Seafoam Islands for some reason, so I went and did all the... Holy crap, it's an Articuno! Okay, yeah, I skipped a lot, like getting the safari set and the whole puzzle part of everything, but next time you try writing a script like this. I beat up the bird successfully through pure Pikachu zooping it to death, and huzzah, bird caught! And hey, now I have a very cool bird that'll be very helpful later. Right? I went back to Cinnabar Island and went through the Pokemon Mansion properly this time and found the key to the Cinnabar Island gym. Luckily, this gym is fire type, so Pikachu's Spleesh Sploosh will be very helpful. And it's all a quiz, so by using my own brain, and definitely not a guide to make sure I don't get a question wrong, I was able to get through the fight very easily. And finally, we have 7 of the 8 gym badges. Now all that's left would be... Larry's waiting outside, and yep, we gotta go back to Viridian City for that gym. Maybe the gym leader's back from getting the moo-moo milk now? Made it back there. The gym is, in fact, still locked. Great. We both go over to Professor Oak's lab and... Oh, hi, Blue. Oak tries to introduce us, but we interrupt that real quick because we already met. Blue's Oak's grandson anyway. Blue or Oak, I'm not paying attention while writing this, gives both Larry and I keystones for Mega Evolution, which I proceed to not use for the entire rest of the game. I refuse to use new tech from later generations, old man! The real reason is I didn't want to have to find a Pokemon with a Mega Stone that I could actually use. I leave the gym, and Pikachu is being very adorable inspecting the flowers. How cute. Also, this random girl comes up to me to tell me that the Viridian City gym leader's back, so let's go do that! Oh yeah, I drugged up my Pokemon at one point. So basically, in this game, you can get candy. The candy can boost a specific stat of a Pokemon to make them stronger in some way, and Weedles, if you catch them, give speed candy. So obviously, I decimated the local Weedle population to boost Rock Squid's speed stat because they're way too slow. Oh yeah, Rock Squid is the unofficial name for Omastar, just so y'all know. So I caught Weedle, after Weedle, after Weedle, after Weedle, after Weedle, after Weedle, after Weedle. I was originally going to give them to the professor, but I didn't realize they gave me speed candies just for catching them, so that never happened. Also still, no shinies. Unfortunate. So, finally got bored of that, and on to the Viridian City gym! It's more of the tiles. I wonder why. Maybe because this game hates me. Anyway, went through that whole painful journey, and finally to the gym leader. Of course it's freaking Giovanni. Of freaking course. I beat him up regardless, of course. No leader of Team Rocket can stop me now. So finally I have all 8 gym badges, and I can... Oh. Team Rocket's disbanded? Aw, man, I was gonna join. Now, before heading to the Elite Four, I did some prep. As in force-fed my Pokemon TMs. They're all fine, I promise. But before I can even think about Victory Road, Larry wants to fight again. So I go fight him. Again. For the 10 millionth time. At some point during the fight, I find out the only move that Articuno knows that actually does damage is Ice Beam. All the rest are just status moves. Which, in case you haven't figured it out yet, to me means that Articuno's basically just a baby bird. Thank you, Digit, for drawing that for me. You really didn't have to, but thank you so much. Go sub to Hershey, good friend! So yeah, Articuno's not gonna get used much, if at all. Anywho, I beat up Larry, headed through the long process of, hey, you need this badge. Oh, you have this badge. Go right ahead. And finally, made it to Victory Road. I want this game to be over already. Not because I dislike it or hate it, it's just been 14 hours at this point. Oh yeah, while I was here, I found Moltres on accident. Literally on accident this time, I didn't mean to. Anyway, caught Moltres, made it out of Victory Road after way too many battles. I used repels to stop wild Pokemon from spawning in, I was that done, and got to the very cute cutscene of Pikachu and I looking up at the League. I healed up my Pokemon and called it a day from there. May 13th, 2026. The final day I spent on this challenge before beating it. I was fully ready, all 8 badges, at the Elite Four, and ready to take on literally anything to finish the first game of the backlog. I looked at the doors to the Elite Four, and immediately backtracked to find Zapdos through a guide. Look, can you blame me? I had 2 of the 3 birds, you have to complete the trio at that point. Found Zapdos at the abandoned power plant, flew back to the Pokemon League, and now the true challenge can begin. I entered the League, starting with Moltres at the lead, then Pikachu, Articuno, Omastar, Nidoking, and Nidoqueen. First up, Lorelei, the first Elite Four member, and an Ice-type trainer. The last time I saw her was back when I was still level 20 or so, back when 4 Team Rocket Grunts was too much for me. But frankly, I believe I've grown, Lorelei. I send out my Moltres first. She sends out her Dewgong. Moltres gets out a Heat Wave and does fairly decent damage given the type disadvantage, and her Dewgong uses Waterfall and gets my Moltres under half. Ultimately, I admit my flaws and summon the second player to help with the battle. Look, it's part of the game and it's my challenge, I'll play it how I want to play it, and if that includes summoning whoever this is to help me win my fights, then so be it. Plus, I still struggle, so it's fair enough. Pikachu gets sent out next to Moltres and the playing field has shifted. Pikachu uses a Zeep Zoop and her Dewgong goes down. She sends out her Jinx next, and with a Floaty Fall from Pikachu, an avoided Blizzard from Jinx, and a Flamethrower from Moltres, her Jinx goes down next. She sends out her Cloyster, and at this point, I'm not feeling too worried. Pikachu manages to get a pretty good hit in with Zeep Zoop, and with a Flamethrower from Moltres, her Cloyster is finished. Next, Lorelei's Lapras, the first Pokemon I ever saw her with. Pikachu gets a Zeep Zoop, and her Lapras gets down to half. Moltres manages to get a Flamethrower and a burn on it before fainting from a Hydro Pump. Still so glad this isn't a Nuzlocke, I'd be dead 10 million times over if it was. I sent out Omastar in Moltres' place, and with one last Zeep Zoop from Pikachu, Lorelei's Lapras is downed. Last was her Slowbro, which got to under half from a Zeep Zoop and a Rock Slide. It managed to get a Surf onto my team, but we tanked it like champs. Pikachu knocked it out with the final Zeep Zoop, and with that, Lorelei of the Elite Four was beaten. 1 down, 3 to go. Next was Bruno, known for his fighting types. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have great psychic-type moves at my disposal due to not looking around much, so I had to stick with what I had mostly. I healed up my team, saved, and began the next fight. Bruno sent out his Onix first, while I and the support trainer sent out Moltres and Pikachu respectively. Pikachu used the Splish Sploosh, and the Onix went down immediately. He sent out his Hitmonlee next, and while Pikachu managed to get it to red with a Floaty Fall, Moltres unfortunately succumbed to Hitmonlee's Rock Slide. Why does Moltres keep dying? I sent out Zapdos, and with Pikachu's next Floaty Fall, the Hitmonlee went down. Next was Machamp. Pikachu and Zapdos knocked it out with ease, thankfully, and next was Hitmonchan. How many Hitmons did this man have? Yet again, Pikachu and Zapdos knocked out the Hitmonchan before it could even react. And last was Poliwrath. Bruno was a fool to think his Poliwrath would live longer than a turn with my Pikachu and Zapdos facing against it. It fainted before it even had the chance to blink. And with that, Bruno was defeated, and the next Elite Four member awaited me. Agatha was next, Ghost types, and the first time in the Elite Four, I felt worried. Nidoqueen knew Bite, but that was the only Dark-type move any of my Pokemon knew. I put her first in my party next to Pikachu, and began the fight. She sent out an Arbok first, and I felt pure relief at first. Pikachu got a Zeep Zoop off on it, and got it close to half, and with Nidoqueen's Earthquake, it got into the red. And simultaneously brought Pikachu down to 1 HP because I, being an idiot, forgot that Earthquake affects all of the Pokemon on the playing field. With the second Zeep Zoop, the Arbok went down, and I made sure that if any of my Pokemon used Earthquake from then on, that the other Pokemon I had out wouldn't be affected by it. Next was her Gengar, and with my newfound knowledge, I had Nidoqueen use Bite while I swapped out Pikachu with Articuno, a flying type who wouldn't be affected by Earthquake. Gengar got a Sludge Bomb onto my Articuno though, and it got poisoned, but Nidoqueen's Bite did a decent chunk to Gengar. On the next turn, Gengar got a Will-O-Wisp onto my Nidoqueen and burned it, while Nidoqueen shook it off like a champ and got an Earthquake onto the Gengar. Gengar, of course, tried to burn Nidoqueen again, and succeeded, but with Articuno's Ice Beam, it went down. Up next was Weezing. Articuno got an Ice Beam onto it, and Nidoqueen's Earthquake barely did anything. The Weezing got a Shadow Ball onto Nidoqueen, and she was now in the yellow. I believed in them being fine and had Articuno use Ice Beam again, while Nidoqueen got a Fire Blast onto it, defeating it. Golbat came out next, and I knew what to do. I had Nidoqueen use Bite while I made the support trainer use healing items on Pikachu. Swapping out to Pikachu, he got a Zeep Zoop onto the Golbat, and most of the rest was history, despite it living for another round. Last but not least, Agatha sent out her second Gengar. Seriously, why does this woman have two of them? I revived Nidoqueen while Pikachu Zeep Zooped Gengar, bringing it down to half. And with a second Zeep Zoop, her final Pokemon went down, securing her victory. Everyone was hurt pretty bad after that one, so for once, I healed everyone up before moving on to the fourth member. Last but not least, Lance, the Dragon-type trainer. The one where I didn't really have good super effective moves to use against. Nonetheless, I was ready to fight. I sent out my Nidoking and Nidoqueen, but I didn't expect him to send out his Seadra first. I tried to use Dragon Tail on them, but quickly found out that Dragon Tail swaps the Pokemon around all over the place. So let's all just pretend that never happened and that it's my first time fighting him the second go around, okay? Okay. This time I set Pikachu as the first Pokemon with Nidoking as the second. This time I truly was ready. With Pikachu's Zeep Zoop, his Seadra got down to under half, but unfortunately Nidoking got taken out by a Hydro Pump. Oh well, casualties happen. I sent out Nidoqueen in his place and continued with the plan of Zeep Zoop until it's dead. Next was his Aerodactyl, which I thought would go down easily with a Spleesh Sploosh, but instead nearly killed both my Pokemon with an Earthquake. Luckily, with Nidoqueen's Dragon Tail, Aerodactyl got swapped out to Charizard instead, which with another Zeep Zoop got down to red. But unfortunately, Pikachu got killed, and Nidoqueen's Dragon Tail instead swapped out Charizard to Gyarados instead of killing it. I used Nidoqueen's turn to revive Pikachu, while Zapdos would use Thunderbolt to kill the Gyarados. And yet another unfortunate, Nidoqueen went down from a waterfall from the Gyarados. But with Zapdos' Thunderbolt, it was killed in one hit, and the fight could finally continue. Charizard was sent back out, and with both Zapdos and Pikachu this time, there was no way I could lose now. With Pikachu's Zeep Zoop, Charizard went down without a hitch. Next was the Aerodactyl again, which I just took down with a Drill Peck and another Spleesh Sploosh. And finally, the last Pokemon. The last part of the Elite Four before I could move on and become the champion. Dragonite. Pikachu got a Zeep Zoop in, and Zapdos got a Thunderbolt, but both only got it down to half. Not like I had expected, but given they outspeeded the Dragonite, the match was won before it even began. And finally, I've beaten the Elite Four, and now all I have to do is become the champion. Although, it seems that there's someone else who has taken that spot before I got here. Larry. Larry, who had been there since day one. Larry, who has been my rival and friend since the beginning. Larry, who has a very unfortunate name for how much I like him now. I healed up my Pokemon for the final time, walked through the doors, and began the final fight against my rival. Pidgeot was up first, and unlike me, Larry used Mega Evolution to make it stronger. But ultimately, it didn't matter. Pikachu was able to get it under half with just one Zeep Zoop. Larry full restored his Pidgeot though, and the battle was extended. Ultimately, it was a futile attempt to delay the inevitable. Pikachu's Zeep Zoops got the Pidgeot down, and the next Pokemon to come out was Vileplume. I swapped out to Moltres, and Nidoking used an Earthquake to try to do some damage. It didn't work as well as I had hoped, but on the next turn, Moltres' Flamethrower got the Vileplume low enough that Nidoking's next Earthquake did it in. Next was Slowbro. Similar in a sense to Lorelei's, but ultimately, this one was Larry's choice to use. Zapdos and Pikachu both got it into the red, but Slowbro's Surf managed to get us both into dangerous yellow territory. Larry used another full restore on his Slowbro, but with another combo of the same moves, it was back where it had been, and with the next Zeep Zoop, it went down. Rapidash was next. Omastar came out to replace Zapdos while Pikachu got a Spleesh Sploosh on the Rapidash before falling to its next attack. Rapidash was still faster than my Omastar, but ultimately, Omastar won with a Scald and next was Marowak. I felt bad, in a sense, looking back. Presumably, this Marowak was the Cubone we helped back in Lavender Town. But ultimately, what am I meant to do when faced with the challenge? Stop? Or overcome it? Omastar's next two Scalds finished off the Marowak, and last but certainly not least, was Jolteon, Larry's starter. The Pokemon that had been there since the beginning. Battle after battle after battle. Loss after loss after loss against me. I imagined it wouldn't feel too happy about that. But I don't believe it would be angry at me. It would just be determined. I swapped to Zapdos so Nidoking could use Earthquake freely, and with only 2 Earthquakes and a Drill Peck, Jolteon went down. And with that, I had beaten Larry. I had become the champion. Honestly, it felt good. Not because I beaten Larry for the 1000th time, but because Larry wasn't upset about losing the title of Champion of Kanto. He was just happy to battle his Pokemon, not really caring whether he won against me or not. Larry was truly a rival to remember. A rival to strive to be, even. One that wants to win, but won't let that cloud what really matters. Professor Oak took me to the Hall of Fame to register my Pokemon to the League, and with the final team of Pikachu, Nidoking, Zapdos, Omastar, Nidoqueen, and Moltres. Heck yeah, this game is done! Let's go! Overall, this game was very fun to beat. It took me a total of 15 hours, 39 minutes, and 15 seconds to beat, with some rounding error. And overall, I think it was worth the time I put in. Even if a lot of that time was spent failing and failing, again, I had fun. That's ultimately what matters. Now for the rating system. Let me explain that real quick. The rating system will be determined on a 1 to 5 star scale. What does this mean? Let me tell you. 1 star means that the game absolutely sucks, I hate it, it's horrible, and I never want to play it again, ever. 2 stars means the game is pretty bad. It has some redeemable qualities, but not much. I don't want to play this again, but depending on the situation, I might. 3 stars means the game is pretty average. It's not really great, but it's also not bad. It's pretty neutral or neutral-liked in terms of opinion, so I might play this again sometime. 4 stars means the game is good. It's not great, but I did enjoy playing it, and there isn't that much bad about it that greatly affects my opinion of it. I will likely end up playing this again. 5 stars means this game is amazing, I can barely think of anything wrong with it, or I am too biased to rate it any lower. I will play this over and over again as many times as I want. Now with that out of the way, the rating of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is... 4 stars! The game overall is good, and it's a Pokemon game, so I'm very biased, but the catching mechanic being kind of buggy and the overall needing to catch Pokemon to really do any leveling kept it from rating any higher. And yes, I'm aware these are likely user error problems, but again, my own opinion, not yours. Overall, for a first game, I'm very happy that this was what the wheel ended up picking for me. It's a very nice start for the backlog in my opinion. Anyway, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and comment below what you think the next game will be. That's all for me this time, so until the next one, goodbye! Come on, buddy. Please, give me something not bad. Please. Please, nothing bad. Please, I'm so done with bad games. Don't be a Pokemon game, please. Oh... Anybody home? Hey, Zandalur, I'm coming up.